On today's Which Word of the Day, I am choosing Necronomicon, noun. Not Necrocomic-Con, Necronomicon. And the Necronomicon, also referred to as the Book of the Dead, is a fictional grimoire appearing in stories by the horror writer H.P. Lovecraft. Oh, he influences so many things. For example, it is also notably adapted in the Evil Dead franchise under the names the Necronomicon Ex Mortis or Naturum Demonto. In the Evil Dead, it is an ancient tome of prophecies, funerary incantations, and demon resurrection passages compiled by a race of beings known as the Dark Ones, much like the Old Ones. While initially designed to serve as a compendium for all things supernatural for the Dark Ones only, the book eventually escaped, quotation marks, escaped into the hands of humanity. Deadites always like to get their freak on, and when we get together we do the Necronomicon.
Do the Necronomicon, do the Necronomicon.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
And finish it off with our best Henry Winkler. Hey!
Hey!
You haven't even read that?
Wait, what are you doing with the book?
So he has the confidence to finish the story.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Can you hear the words of the witches? Yeah, the words of the witches.
Welcome to Words of the Witches, the Charmed podcast that will guide you through the lesser-known published lore of the Charmed universe.
In this night and in this hour, we call upon our fanboy power, bringing education and stupefaction to all of you.
Together, we will use our knowledge and reverence abundantly, but also find ourselves sassy and delightful.
Which is why we will truly be charmed.
Hello, spell worders. I am Kevin, your resident Charmed resource, and this is Words of the Witches, episode 137.
And I'm Sean, and I just love Evil Dead 2.
That's just Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
You know, that's Andy Trudeau's favorite movie.
Really? I think I remember that.
Yeah, in season 1, he gets asked what his favorite movie is. Like, it's Evil Dead 2.
I mean, I like all the Evil Deads, but that's like the best one by far.
It's a perfect blend of the comedy and horror. I think it's well balanced. I think that,
Yeah, Army of Darkness gets a little...
way too comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets very comedy.
Yeah. And then the first one, I think, is more on the horror side. So
Yeah.
So there you go. Evil Dead 2. Speaking of Evil Dead, we had, Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
But Bruce Campbell
Agent
was in
Jackson?
Charmed. Yeah, Agent Jackman.
Jackman. I always do that.
Yeah. In Which Way Now? So, fun. But we're done with that. So, last week we had a PS4 poll about your favorite childhood book. It was not a typical poll with voting. It was people got to send in their own responses. Do you have any guesses on what people might have said? Like, what books might be people's favorites?
Childhood. I think we'll probably get some of the basics, like Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Wizard of Oz, kind of the fairy tale ones.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I got a nice handful of responses. Nobody on YouTube said anything, but I got some Instagram ones. The first one was by Mboy. He said Peter Pan. So, it's like he loves, like Peter Pan just stole those children.
Yeah, he did.
We had Drewio89 say The Little Prince.
Oh.
Our friend Brendan Kyle Murphy says King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Nothing Very Serious said Animorphs. Which, yeah, when we were kids, it was the Goosebumps and Animorphs. Those were the two, like, big sellers series.
Oh, I was so into Goosebumps. Oh my god.
Yeah. Chris Reeds 45 says The Bridge to Terabithia or Tuck Everlasting. One Slowpoke Brain, I think. I gets cut off, so I don't know the rest of it. Says The Eye and Inheritance Saga, beginning with Aragon. So that must be Lord of the Rings stuff.
No, Aragon is...
Oh, that's the dragons.
Yeah, it's basically... I don't know. I've only watched the movie. I couldn't get into it because it's basically Star Wars with dragons. It's the exact same story as Star Wars, but with dragons.
Because I do remember, like, the Aragon movie, so I thought, okay. But maybe the books are better, because a lot of times the movies mess up the books.
True.
Take, for example, Wrinkle in Time. And then Serex 1987-000 says Vilpultreat, The Wild Apple Tree by Last Person. I don't know that one.
I don't know that one.
So I'll have to be educated on that one. So yeah, fun.
Yay.
So before we get into our book this week, which is, Book of 3, Volume 2 still, Book of Black Magic is our section, we do have our manor keeping.
You can't just vanquish an entire house, especially not our house. People are gonna notice.
Manor keeping.
Well, the problem isn't the manner. It's the manner in which it was treated.
A good witch is a clean witch.
Did you have any manor keeping today? Did you have anything to report back on or something like that?
I have updates. On my sex magic.
Yes, tell us.
So, just to remind all of you spell worders, last Sunday, the 13th, I did a little sex magic to bring some money into my life and a better job. And then we recorded on Monday, and I had woken up and received an email saying if I need any help getting a job to use this link. I looked into that link. It's basically like you pay $180 a month and they send out your resume for you, which, I mean, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to spend money to try to make money. But Tuesday, my day started off with me talking to my mentor for school. And mind you, I've been talking to this guy since October 2023, and he just randomly brings up, oh, by the way, if you only have 2 classes left, you're going to save a couple $1,000s because you'll be a part-time student. So I was like, what? So that's very doable for me right now. I just have to work my ass off. That's why I'm constantly stressed out, because I have 5 classes I would need to get done between now and the end of March. But later that same day on Tuesday, around 12 o'clock, I got a call saying that they got my resume and they would be interested in talking to me. So I called back at 1, and he's like, yeah, we really are interested in you for this position. Can we interview at 4? So I was like, WTF, of course. I called out of work and I interviewed, and that one's still pending. So it's been exactly 1 week since that interview. Well, a week and a day. So I don't know. I haven't heard yet. But if this works, Kevin, and I get this job, I am sex magicking everything.
That's like the best kind of magic, though, because you have fun and make things happen.
You know, the hardest part for me about sex magic is remembering to focus on what I want as I'm orgasming.
I mean, I can see that being a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're pretty much impregnating the world when you do this.
That's true.
On that note, speaking of impregnating the world, would you like to I mean, I feel like it fits. Would you like to hear this charm theory that I found?
Tell me.
So this was something that was posted on a Facebook group, a charmed Facebook group, by Justin Larmour, and he has given me permission to read it on the podcast. It's a theory about morality bites, my favorite episode. And I want to read it to you and get your thoughts on it. It says, the future the Charmed Ones saw for 2009 was actually an alternate reality created by the elders just to teach them a lesson and alter their behavior. And he goes on and says, technological incongruities. Real world, on the moon, and voice command televisions were not in fact realities of 2009. But the elders aren't angels and can't see that far ahead, so they simply made up those details to throw off the girls. Proving crime by witchcraft. The scenario they set up where the entire world was convinced witches are not just real but evil, and everything about our democratic society suddenly turned into a religious nightmare, is a little far-fetched. It can happen, but generally huge movements take a little more time to go from random guy on the street to basically being attorney general or witch hunter. I mean, that one I can, because time did pass. It was 10 years, but maybe he thought it would take more than 10 years. Apprehending witches and magical beings. Magic is greater than guns. Witches and warlocks and demons, etc., wouldn't be hiding from powerless humans in dirty hovels. With power that exists in this universe, it's a war humans would lose. And not even a good witch is going to hesitate to blast a human with a gun. Leo and Melinda. Piper was never destined to have a daughter first. This was an assumption by the elders who created the child Piper expected, and then they manipulated her choices. So they They thought about what Piper wanted and made Melinda out of their minds. They also showed her a doomed relationship with Leo, attempting to convince her to give up on the relationship entirely.
Wow.
Yeah. Then they have Prue's job. The elders wanted Prue's attention to be on fighting evil, not on her work. So they showed her a scenario in which she had no relationships at all and never saw her sisters. Prue was never destined to live so long, so this was all clearly made up by the elders to control her.
Shit.
Yeah. And then they have catching Phoebe. The fact that Phoebe in that timeline went quietly to jail or was even caught seems highly unlikely. A seer with martial arts skills and the power to make groups of people disappear with a rhyming couplet, they never would have taken her alive. The elders simply gave Phoebe the harshest lesson of all, as they believed after the events of the Woogie that she had the greatest potential to fall prey to evil, but also to break free of their control. All in all, every sign in their spells to go to the future was in reality just a shared delusion, much like the source created for Piper in Brain Drain, and nothing more than a tool of manipulation by the elders. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, I could see the elders doing that, and it makes more sense than, like he said, those events actually unfolding naturally. Because, yeah, why would humans get the upper hand on witches? The witches are, like, taking out demons left and right, and they can't take care of one human.
Right. I mean, if there was a magic versus human battle, I can see, it'd be like a what if situation, but like definitely magic is greater than all of the human stuff combined. So like humans wouldn't have a stand a chance if they really went to war, So, but oh my gosh, I do agree that the elders would totally pull something like that. I don't know if I would choose to believe it. I like it better as an alternate reality, I think. But yeah. I thought it was fun. Should we get into this book? The next section of the book? Let's do it. So today we are covering The Book of Three, Volume 2 by Diana G. Gallagher, Paul Ruditis, and Phyllis Ungerleider. Yes. And this is the section, The Book of Black Magic. Another kind of very much glossary kind of section. We will do our best to cover it, but not be too crazy. Sean, kick us off with the Black Magic Practitioners.
All right, first off, we've got the avatars, and they are avatarded. No, we shouldn't say that. Avatars are basically just, they're not constrained by the concepts of good and evil. They exist outside of time. Basically, they're just there to make sure there's a balance. The main avatars that we saw in the show, of course, were Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. We also saw like the avatars as like the creature heads that would sometimes come and just chat or attack Leo. We also saw the collective, which was like the collective of floating heads, and then an unnamed female avatar in Viacon Leos who cooperates with an elder to help Piper find the Angel of Destiny.
She had very straight hair and big eyes. Next in this were the Dark Lighters, and we've seen lots of Dark Lighters over the years, but there's only a few that they're listed here. I guess fewer as in these later years. Things like Damien from Courtship of Wyatt's Father, and Salik and Young and the Restless that killed Mikal.
All right, and then next we have demons. So upper level demons have human form and bleed red. They are vanquished with a potion using their flesh. They can throw fire, an upper level power, and they do not dream. Lower level demons bleed green and do not dream. We've had so many, but some of the ones that we've seen here are like, I've always liked Blackheart just because of the Marvel character Blackheart. Of course, Barvish, the demon of fear. We also have Acolytes of the Order. We've had so many. Creo.
So many.
Yeah. I'm going to stop there. That's great. Domain.
Right.
I
don't
didn't
need to
stop.
name them
I
all.
lied.
Your favorite ones. One of mine is Cirque, aka Kevin.
Kevin. Actually, I just opened the picture of Paul Haas. He is so fucking hot. I love
Paul Haas. Oh my gosh. Yes. Heartthrob of season 8 for sure.
Right.
This went on and on and on of demons.
Oh, Zinku. Zinky. He's my favorite.
Yes. We have Zyke. We had Michael Mays played Zyke or Zeke. I called him like, he's like, I think it was Zeke. I'm like, maybe it's Zeke with a Y, but not what you think it is.
Maybe.
So yeah, the next part were the good guys gone bad, and these were not necessarily evil. These were good guys that are evil now. So that's people like Gideon. There only is 3 people in here: Gideon and Vincent. Vincent Wrong, I guess, is what they list. But what I think is interesting about this section is the listing of the forgotten ones. And these were those children that were turned by Vicus. So they're good witches, good magic beings that, Vicus came to, like with Wyatt, and kind of manipulated one of their toys and slowly turned them evil over time. That's a very kind of cool idea. I wish we would have got to explore that more. The forgotten ones, kind of like the Lost Boys, but they're evil now.
Yeah. All right. Inanimate objects. It's pretty straightforward. So like amulets, the golden chalice, fountain of youth. It even lists weird things like Faustian deal, which I don't know. It's not really an object to me. It's more of a thing.
No.
Same with like Wasteland. It's not an object, it's a place. But yeah, put it there.
Very odd. There's one thing that's out here. They have the Crystal of Casimir listed in here. I read that, I'm like, what the hell is that? And it was something that was only like mentioned in a sentence in the episode.
Oh.
It was something that the demons were looking for and never found, and they're like, oh wait, the Golden Belt of Gaia. We think it's this, but it's not this, but let's use this instead. So that's pretty much what happened. So it's only something that was mentioned in passing and never seen. So then the next part were Malevolent Mortals. Count Roger, Walter Nance, which was that crazy like plastic surgery man that was like after Maya, that guy. But then they have Davos listed in Malevolent Mortals. And I'm just going to put a pin in that right now. That's a canonical check. So put that in the pin for later, because we're going to talk about Davos. They have him listed as a mortal. No.
All right. Miscellaneous evil entities. We've got Alchemist, Tim Cross, Grimlock Eggs, Inspector Davis, Inspector Reese Davidson, Phantasms, a parrot. That was the dead parrot from the Pirates.
Yeah.
A tentacle.
Then there's mythical manifestations like the dragon and the headless horseman.
And then seers and soothsayers. There was an evil soothsayer. And there's Kira. I love Kira.
Yeah. Although they spelled her name wrong, I think.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it Kyra?
Yeah. Yeah. Canonical. Yeah. But yeah, it's Kyra, not Kira. Boom. All right. Then there's shapeshifters. So there was Abbott. That one's one that was killed by the Dogen. He's like, I want your power. Katya, with her abs. We love her and her abs. Oh, that's all he knows about. The big fight. She's like, look at my stomach. Yeah, so shapeshifters.
All right. And then we have sorcerers and source. I believe this is a spelling error.
I think so too. It's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be sorcerers and sorceresses, and it got cut off or something.
Yeah. We start off with the very beautiful Amara. I love her. We also have Ginny, the ancient sorcerer, who was a genie. We have just sorcerer, and then Zira.
And then, of course, they mention the source himself, because he does come back for season 8. You think he's gone, but nope. Put your finger in it, yeah. And then, so there you go. The source is back temporarily.
All right, and then spirits, we have Captain Blackjack Cutting. We have First Mate Resner and Matahari.
Put a canonical check in there for Captain Blackjack Cutting and Resnor.
Oh.
Then we have the Triad, which, the ones that just do not die. The ones that were, the council was retconned into the Triad. They wanted to get the charmed ones. Then they come back as They have Asmodeus, Balial, and Kandor. Those were the three main ones later on. They got killed, but then their spirits were still alive. They just keep coming back. They're like cockroaches.
Yep. All right, and then we've got the ultimate power, which was the Jenkins sisters, Cunty, Christy, and fucking Billy.
Did you notice something about this, though?
What?
It says, the identity of the ultimate power, Billy Jenkins, is revealed. They treat the ultimate power as if it's just Billy alone.
Oh, you're
and it
right.
pisses me off. Multiple times throughout this section, they imply that. So put that in canonical as well. We got lots to cover later. Then there's vampires. We have a vampire queen that, like, the sisters try to go before Zanku gets to her, but then Zanku got to her and she's like, fools, and she betrayed them. That's the only one we got.
All right, and then we've got warlocks. They kill to steal a witch's powers, move with super speed, as in the blink of an eye, are to blink. They do not bleed, cannot hide their actions from upper-level beings, and blinding or strobe light prevents them from blinking. Note, a rivalry exists between demons and warlocks. And there's only two. There's Nigel, or there's an unnamed warlock who is a contestant in the Witch Wars.
Nigel was the last warlock they actually had to fight or, go against.
Okay.
But yeah, do you remember in the first book of 3 how they kept saying how warlocks were more powerful than demons?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything like that here, which is nice, but, Next section, we have evil witches. They list the charmed ones in black. Oh, my. We have Wyatt Hallowell, Christy Jenkins, the Phoenix, Robin, and the Stillman sisters. Yay!
Yay! And there's your Nickelback Wyatt.
Yeah, my Nickelback Wyatt I love so much.
Yep. All right, and wizards, we have just a wizard who recites the incantation to release Zenku and Witness Protection, and then Zakal. Zakal? Zakal.
Zakal.
Zakal. That's what he said.
And then there's a few pages of black magic spells and rituals. As we noted in the last book of 3, most of these are in Latin or some kind of other language or backwards. So I think there's something fun to note. They don't mention it in here, but in Freaky Phoebe, when Amara said, Ikat lus, Ikat demrak ino, Idart met won. That's interesting because if you put it backwards, the words say, take my soul, take a charmed one, trade them now. So they just took those words and spelled them backwards, which is fun to note.
I like that one.
Yeah. Now let's get into some demonic power plays. And these are a list of special actions or plans that evil has made to thwart charmed ones or thwart the world. And I think the titles are very fun. They're like movie titles or something. So we'll go over those. So the first one is The Camelot Gambit. And this is I don't know what... See, these are not official titles, but I like them. I'm going to call these, the sagas or whatever. So Mordaunt accumulates enough demonic power to wrest control of Excalibur from Piper, Wyatt's proxy, and then Wyatt, the chosen one who rightfully commands Excalibur, kills Mordaunt with the sword.
The Order Revival. An ancient cult called the Order, believing Wyatt is the reincarnation of their vanquished leader, reverses his morality from good to evil with a scepter. The Charmed Ones vanquish the Order's acolytes. The Dark Priest dies by his own magic. Wyatt's morality is changed back to good with the scepter.
All right. An Arabian Empire. Whoever sits on the throne of the lost city of Zanbar, seat of power for an ancient evil empire, will be all-powerful. Bosk and Ginny's attempts to raise the buried city and secure its power are thwarted by a genie wish.
The Traitor Trap. Gideon, founder and headmaster of Magic School, regrets that the elders allowed Wyatt to be born. The concentration of so much power in one being threatens the forces of evil and good, and he vows to correct the mistake. Evil forces enlisted to carry out the plot. Darklighters Damien and his lieutenant attempt to kill Leo, which will leave Wyatt vulnerable. The Game Master's Core and Clea are used to distract the Charmed Ones. See Witch Wars Gamble. Oh, Witch Wars Gamble!
Yeah.
Barbas is to distract the Charmed Ones. Rules and considerations. The Charmed Ones must not be harmed. Innocents must not be harmed. Gideon abandons both rules in Witch Wars. Leo kills Gideon to save Wyatt and restore universal balance.
But isn't that funny how, like, Gideon had these rules? He's like, we won't hurt the Charmed Ones, we won't hurt innocents. But then he's like, screw that, I don't care. Like, he like, breaks all his rules because he's so desperate.
Yeah, he's an asshat.
Then we have the Charmed Champion. Vincent, Mr. Wright's evil twin, tries to turn Paige evil, making her the most powerful entity in the underworld. Having an irresistible influence over Paige, he plans to become real and rule by proxy over her demonic realm. Vincent and his influence are destroyed by Piper's power with Mr. Wright's selfless assistance. And see, the thing with that is he's supposed to be like this evil version, Mr. Wrong, but remember that episode? It's a terrible episode, but he wasn't really evil. He was vanquishing demons. He was like trying to do what Paige wanted, just wrongly.
Yeah, true. The Witch Wars Gamble. Game Masters Core and Clea create a demonic TV reality show. Contestants on Witch Wars wager their powers, hoping to acquire glory and the powers of the witches they kill. Core and Clea hope to accumulate enough upper-level demonic power to rule the underworld. Demonically empowered Phoebe vanquishes Core and Clea, and the show is cancelled.
Then we have the Ancient Power Clash. So we have the Avatars and the Collective trying to create a world beyond good and evil. He's like, oh, we're going to make Leo an Avatar because we need him and his power. We need the Charmed Ones and their power because we're not strong enough right now. And then they say, oh, after the change, after we got Utopia, we have to monitor from our star chamber and remove anyone that disrupts the flow. And flow. But then the Charmed Ones confront the Avatars with a vanquishing potion, and they're like, okay, well, change it back, fine. And then we have Zanku and the Underworld, where the Zanku organizes Underworlds to save the demons from the Avatars, and he's like, I'm going to get Brody, I'm going to kill who killed his parents, so I win him over, and then we're going to get Beta, blah. And then we have the Elders, who are like, oh my gosh, if the Avatars make this Utopia, we will have no purpose. We won't be in charge anymore. So we got to stop them too, because we need to be the all-powerful ones. So they're all on a high alert. Like, Leo, you better not join the Avatars. Oh, you're an Avatar? Be gone. We want to kill you. And then it's like, you need to become with us. We're going to take you away from Piper. And then Leo's like, no, I love Piper. And I'm going to fall from grace. I'm like, okay, fine. We tried to cheat, but it's fine.
The Shadow Showdown. Zanku plots to acquire the ultimate power of the Shadow. Tribe demons attempt to remove the sisters and take over the manor, so the Shadow will be drawn to Zanki's evil presence. The presence of the Charmed Ones thwarts the plan twice. Zanki weakens the Charmed One, steals the Book of Shadows, steals Piper and Phoebe's powers, and absorbs the ancient power of the Nexus. Hey, isn't the Nexus the same thing as the Wikiman, Kevin? Aren't they the same thing?
No! I hate it.
Subplots to join are thwart Zanki. The shapeshifter Katya once worked for the Dark Lords and wants a position of power. She releases the evils from Pandora's box to impress Zanki. Vanquished by the Charmed Ones. Vanquished. Amara, a beautiful sorceress, reported to the source but wants to rule now. She soul naps Phoebe's body to weaken Zanki by vanquishing his upper-level demon allies. Dalik and Benzor are killed, but Linson is spared when beautiful Amara is vanquished. After Zanki unites with the Nexus, which is basically the Wikiman, the Charmed Ones destroy both with the power of 3 spell.
Demons and witches and bears. Oh my! This is so cute. This is where we get Vicus cursing Wubby, the teddy bear, to slowly turn Wyatt evil and make all the good things bad and getting their powers and stuff. But then evil Wyatt can't kill his father because he still has so much love in his heart secretly. Oh, and then young Wyatt trusts Leo. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so cute. This little boy is so cute. I can't. This is me. So he's like, I'm good again.
Outsource again. A female a female possessor demon brings back the source so they can be mommy and daddy to Wyatt. The beginning of an evil dynasty to replace the Charmed Ones. The Charmed Ones, not dead, vanquish both wannabe parents.
And then we have territorial designs. Just like in season 8, where so many of the demons think the Charmed Ones are actually dead. They say, oh, with no Charmed Ones to threaten them, demons stake out territory above ground. So we have like Antosis, the Dogan, Margoyle, and,
Fuck, not that
and
again.
Zira. But they're real. They're real people. They really are.
They're real. The corporate takeover. This one's not exciting. The corporate takeover. That's just like one company buys another.
Right.
To gain a powerful
Disney.
foothold above ground, Nanta raises the human Dalvos to assume control of the Pelham Corporation. Since the Charmed Ones cannot vanquish a human, Piper poses as Dalvos, who confesses to killing his cousin and rival.
See, problems there.
Uh-oh.
Problems there. But keep going. Oh, me. The Triad tries again. The sequel. The threequel. The trilogy. After 15 years, the Triad exerts an evil influence over Christy Jenkins, the key to the ultimate power, Billy.
Boom.
Charmed Ones attacked Asmodeus and Belial, and to vanquishing themselves. And then Christy vanquishes Candor with a fist through the body. She's like, "Peh! I grab your heart." And then the spirits continues to oversee the last phases of the plan to kill the Charmed Ones. They're like, we still be here, bitches. The Triad are vanquished by the Hollow when the Charmed Ones taken and like, we need more power, blah, 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 blah. And they do that. So
Yes, they do that. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this one's cute. The ultimate power play. Because it's the ultimate power, but it's a play. Dumaine, a demon who aspires to join the Triad, provides the Triad with the plan to kill the Charmed Ones. Dumaine appears as Billy and Christie's imaginary friend to put the process in motion. The Triad hires the Scather clan to kidnap and imprison Cunty Christie. Cunty Christie had raised to unite with the ultimate power. Fucking Billy to fulfill her destiny, taking out the Charmed Ones. Fucking Billy's determination to find Cunty Christie after her powers manifest as an adult is part of the plan. After fucking Billy turns on the Charmed Ones, she and Cunty Christie link their powers and accomplish the impossible, vanquishing an unvanquishable demon. Fucking Billy's ties to the Charmed Ones are broken. Convinced they are saving the world from evil Wyatt, fucking Billy and Cunty Christie try to kill the Charmed Ones, but they escape. Both sets of sisters absorb part of the Hollow to fight the ultimate battle, which destroys the manor and kills Cunty Christie, Paige, and Faybois. When the timeline is altered, fucking Billy uses her power of projection to help the Charmed Ones vanquish the Triad so they cannot resurrect ever. Cunty Christie, as evil as the Triad intended, is killed by fucking Billy with her own energy ball. Yeah. Evil loses, fucking Billy and her ultimate power to good.
So the last section of this is a new generation. It says a new generation of young demons will gain power over the coming decades. Eventually, they will fill the power vacuum left by the Triad and challenge another generation of charmed Warren witches. So, and he actually, in this book, refers to them as new generation demons, like this is an official term, which I've never heard before. I think the book coins it themselves. And this is new generation demons, much like, for example, what does he have? He has like Zamo, who followed Rotul in season 8, and then Tomar, who followed the Dogan. So they're like young demons that are like apprentice to these bigger demons, and they're learning. So they're like the new generation.
Yeah. Would you like some miscellaneous evil melodies?
Yes, please.
All right. Possessions. The ghost of Olivia Calloway possesses Paige to be near Richard, Montana, and loves a witch. Mata Hari's karma possesses Faye Bois and used karma. A phantasm possesses Inspector Sheridan, crimes and witch demeanors. Shakti and Shiva, the Hindu goddess of creation and god of destruction, possess Leo and Piper in a call to arms. Although they are not evil, another consummation of their love will destroy all things. And I've grown up on Final Fantasy. I always see Shiva as this beautiful blue woman, but no, she's a he. He's a she.
Yeah.
She's a he.
She's a man, baby.
A possessor demon invade. Oh, that sounds so naughty. Invades Leo once in a blue moon. George's spirit possesses Daryl's friend Mike, a security guard, to escape unending death by fire and showgirls. Human and neutral, Leo is possessed by the shadow from the Nexus in Scryhard, which, that's basically the Woogieman. And Mara swaps souls with Phoebe to inhabit Phoebe's body and Freaky Phoebe. A possessor demon uses Mandy, a preschool mom, to kidnap Wyatt and desperate house bitches. And we also have infections. Chris is infected with spider demon venom in Spin City. Paige is infected with an aging curse and charmed. And Billy is infected with the Hulk virus in Hocus Pocus.
So that's the end of this section. Do you have anything for put that in my canonical hat?
Canonical.
No, you have enough for both of us today.
I have plenty. I was like, there are so many things in this section. So let's get it done. All right. So the first thing, this is just a Kevin thing. I don't like that the avatars are in the evil category because they are neutral. They've always claimed they're neutral. But because they were set up as antagonists, it's fine. It's easy to forgive. It just irks me just a twinge. This is something too. It's said in the book that once a possessor demon takes over someone, it retains use of their powers. I didn't like that wording because it makes it sound like they can tap into a power even when not actively possessing someone. So like if they took over this demon with flaming power and then they took over Leo with orbiting power, and then they just leave and walk around the streets, they can still use those powers. That's what it makes it sound like they can do, which isn't true. Because it's only when they're inhabiting someone that they have the ability to control their powers because they are in control of their body. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
The book here says that Sargon, this was a demon we never saw. It was in Showghouls, but they mention it. And the book says they vanquished Sargon in 1999. But Piper says in Showghouls that they vanquished him 5 years ago.
Huh.
And if you went 5 years before the air date of Showghouls, that would put it sometime between Give Me a Sign and Murphy's Luck in season 2, which would be in like February, March 2000, not 1999.
Okay.
So, but I always like that because it means that there's something that Prue helped to vanquish that we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into things that really bother me. And they said again, like the last book of 3, that dark letter poison is fatal to white letters and dark letters. No! Stop spreading lies! That's not true. Their dark letters are only affected by sharp, pointy things, like their crossbows, not the poison. And here's another thing that I kind of hinted at. Rod Dalvos, was said to be a malevolent mortal who was raised by Nanta. No. Dalvos was a demon switched at birth with a mortal baby of that Pelham family to infiltrate their wealth and influence. So they took the mortal baby and switched it with a demon baby. That's what happened.
Okay.
So he was raised as a human, but he was actually a demon in disguise. Who knows what they did with the actual mortal baby? They probably likely killed it or something, or used it for currency or whatever. And Nanta did not raise him. He was raised by the family, but Nanta was pulling the strings, and he was aware of the whole time. So, yeah, the very key distinction. They also said that phantasms only possess bad beings, which, again, is not true. They do usually work for demons to possess criminals and further evil, so they do possess bad beings often, but they can possess anyone. They don't only possess bad beings. Because they possess Sheridan. Well, yes, she was a world-class bitch, but she wasn't really evil, I guess. I mean, she wasn't corrupt or anything. I think she was just a bitch. So
Yeah.
all right. And then I talked about how Captain Blackjack Cutting and Reznor are not spirits. They were referred to as spirits. They're not spirits. They were banished to a realm where they're stuck until like the fog rolls in. So they're kind of like an in-between limbo dimension of sorts. But they are immortal. So they are not dead. They cannot die. They are immortal beings. And Captain Blackjack Cutting was just cursed by the witch to grow old, to live, his actual age, because he wanted to like be immortal. And she's like, "Fine, you're immortal, but I'm still gonna curse you to like be haggard and gross."
It's not very nice.
So they could not die, and they were not spirits. They were just somewhere living in the fog. The book, as we read, repeatedly states that Billy alone is the ultimate power, and Chrissy was just the key to it. The ultimate power is both of them together, Billy and Chrissy combined. That's the whole point of it. Why would it just be Billy? That's stupid.
Yeah.
So that made me mad. And they did this kind of thing too. They said that Grams's friend Robin in Witchstock was killed by her own energy ball. And just here, I wrote down this last thing, that they said Christy was killed by her own energy ball. Both of those were fireballs. So, yeah. And then my last thing for canonical is a spell that was incorrect. And this was in The Power of Three Blondes. In the book, they put the spell as blinking faces blink, ho hum. We are they and they are no one. Grant to us the power of three and turn them into nobody. They missed one word. It says blinking faces blink, ho hum. It should be blinking faces blink and ho hum.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all about the syllables and the rhyming scheme. So, So yeah, just a few things to have a bone to pick. So that's it. Anything before we get into PS for poll? Any thoughts about the section?
No, it was very straightforward.
Yeah, I think so too. So PS for poll.
Piper. You mean it's just you and Prue, huh?
Phoebe? Phoebe, you there?
And a big hello to you too, Penny.
Come on, Patty. The rest is up to them.
Paige. My name is Paige.
Another P, imagine that.
P is for poll. This week, much like when we had our book of white magic, we're choosing our favorite Wicked Witch. Witch old witch, the Wicked Witch. So we're picking our favorite one, and the first one is obviously the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz. Or you can choose the Evil Queen from Snow White, or the Grand High Witch from The Witches, or Winifred Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. This is very hard.
Yeah. I know mine, though.
All right, I think I know mine too.
As much as I love her, I can't take my Winifred seriously. Just because, yeah, she's an evil witch. Yeah, she sucks the life out of children. But she's also so comical to me. So I can't see her in that light. So I'm going with what I see as one of the OG witches, which is Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay. I was tempted to say Winifred too, just because I feel like I like that energy and I like the singing. But you're right, she's not wickeder. I'm gonna go with Wicked Witch of the West too. That's because that's the very first witch I've ever encountered in my life, in my lifetime. First movie I ever saw, and that's the first evil witch I ever saw. So there's something very special about that.
Yeah.
So I guess it's time to go. We did it.
Yay!
What's next is we're going to do Section 5 Magic School. Magic School is going to be a time.
You're so excited.
That's coming next. I'm so excited. It's short, though. It's a short section. But until we get to there, Tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Sean.Perrette on the socials. Or if you want to follow our other podcast, Solving for X, an X-Men Task podcast. We are right now wrapping up a little over halfway through season 2 of X-Men Evolution, where Kevin and Ryan are trying to convince me to like it, which is working.
Yay! And Spellworders, let me tell you that the name of the podcast, Solving for X, was thought of by Sean, no one else, because he is so brilliant and witty and wonderful.
Yeah, and I also thought of the name Words of the Witches.
Right? Amazing. So if you happen to listen to that psychiatry episode that I was on of another podcast, and you hear me talk about Solving for X, just know that it was a complete lie by my brain.
But not on purpose.
Not on purpose. So, yeah, I need to set it straight because I need to feel better. Yes, you're welcome. But yes, and then you can follow this podcast at Words of the Witches, which I did think of. That I really did think of that one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then follow me personally at KJEEZY87 or Words of the Witches on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you next week for Magic School. Your destiny still awaits.